You're about to listen to the award-winning Stuart Pedasso Show. This show is for biologically and emotionally mature audiences. If you should not be here, please go away. We'll still be here when you're mature enough to partake. Ooh-ah.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Stuart Pedasso Show. Apparently, I'm adequate.
I am Melissa, and hella awesome.
I'm Peter, and Dave is a generous lover.
Aw, Dave.
Oh,
there you go.
You read the stuff on the bathroom wall.
I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But generous was spelled with a dollar sign.
I'm sure. No, yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah, no. If something's spelled right on a bathroom wall, it's not legit.
It's not, yeah,
no.
no.
It's totally not legit. So, yes, the award-winning Stuart Pedasso Show. Hey, we're in a room together for a change. We've had a few weeks where we were doing audio from the Rochester Erotic Arts Festival, and I think next year, 3 hours worth of show might be a little much. I might have to be a little bit more picky, but it was fun doing it. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you didn't catch it, you should go back and listen to all 3 shows. And there are 2 clips on our Patreon of just Melissa and me that I said, okay, I got way too much audio as it is. I'm just going to put it on Patreon. Just us when no one would talk to us.
Nobody's not going to say stupid shit.
Right. So it's just you and me.
Was it just like catty back and forth about?
No, it wasn't that. It was more like,
weird.
especially the first night, I think it was, you had a few drinks and you hadn't been drinking, and I was just exhausted. And it was like close to midnight. And so I sounded drunk. I was just tired, and she was minorly drunk. And we were just like, hey, it was about 10 minutes each. So if you want to hear bonus coverage of us at the REAF, you can go to our Patreon and shell out $1.
It's fun.
You could shell out 10 too if you wanted.
Oh, you could totally do that.
You could do. I mean, you know.
You could totally do that. I don't think I have any housekeeping stuff. Just our usual. If you get a chance, if anybody listening, the tens of you, are on the iTunes, I've decided I'm going to start pressing this a little.
Okay.
Y'all need to go and give us 5 stars on the iTunes.
Okay.
That's what I've decided. So,
all right, I'll do that.
Yeah, you should totally do that.
I know. Why haven't I done
There's
that?
actually a review there from 2007.
Is there?
Right? That's
Am I allowed? I don't think I'm allowed to review it.
What's the review say?
Oh, it's because a friend of mine.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he ever even listened to the show, but
He was nice. And
oh yeah, totally. No, absolutely.
That's great.
But no, you should just go and give it 5 stars, even if you think we suck. Just give it 5. Give everything 5 stars.
It doesn't hurt.
Because everybody and their grandmother has a podcast now. Mm-hmm. And even though we've been doing it forever, we're originals.
I feel like a grandmother's podcast would be really great.
There's got to be grandmothers.
There's definitely grandmother's.
There's
podcasts for everything nowadays.
They're either going to be sweet or raunchy, and I want in on it.
Oh, raunchy? Oh, I'm sure there's both.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there's
sweet and raunchy.
I hope they're both sweet and raunchy. I would want sweet and raunchy in the same show.
She's like stirring brownie mix, and she's like, the last time I saw something that looked like this, and then she starts describing like.
I think that's Martha Stewart's podcast.
Her night with the Denver Broncos.
Oh, that's Martha Stewart's podcast.
Oh, okay.
Sure. No problem. It wouldn't be Paula Dean because she wouldn't do the Broncos. She'd do some golf team.
Probably.
No, NASCAR.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
She's a
golf is relatively
golf.
She's a pit wench for NASCAR.
Wow.
Well, I know
Paula Dean is a pit wench.
Damn it, the pit wenches.
I know. I used to actually work as a pit wench when I was in middle school. So
stop it.
I did.
Not. That is like the most butch thing I've ever heard you say.
I was the top too.
Wow.
So.
Damn, dude.
Oh, please, no, you're not. I'm not dropping this. Pit wench, please explain.
No,
Please,
I'm
I know.
kidding.
I want to know.
No.
When I was in middle school, I was doing no such thing. I was afraid of it. I was a good Christian boy at that time. Baptist.
A Baptist.
I was brought up a Baptist.
I knew you were in a rural area.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that meant you hung out at like the local dirt track or something.
Oh, I have. Yeah, it wasn't.
That was the gayest you ever sounded.
I have done it, and I'm going to tell you why I don't like it. It's just after 5 minutes, it's like it's the really same dirty thing over and over again. Plus, like you're inhaling all these particulates.
No, I understand
I've been to one before.
And it's loud.
Awful. Okay, it's loud. It smells bad.
All right.
It's
And
so
then there's-
dirty. You feel dirty.
You did
Guys
so-
named Skeeter are
Okay.
like dumping Budweiser on you.
Ugh, it's
Well,
terrible.
not anymore.
It's
but
a terrible
so,
thing.
So okay. So really, you didn't volunteer at a racetrack.
No, I have been to them.
Okay.
Yeah. I
so
mean,
you weren't an actual pit.
no, I was not a pitcher.
No, because I totally want to follow up if you were. That
No.
would be like one of the fascinating story you've ever told me.
Yeah, if that
No.
was true.
That's what I'm-
I was not a pit
It
one.
was a good joke.
Yeah.
No, it was a totally good joke. But if it was true, I totally want to hear more.
I got it. I got
Okay.
it.
Well, I'm gonna. No.
I have a vivid imagination. It's
No,
what I
it's
would have done if I had the balls, you know? I'm just kidding. Again, I'm not attracted to anybody at NASCAR.
I don't know.
that
There
I
might be
know
some
of.
Cute, there
I
might
don't
be some
know who
cute boys in
anybody-
NASCAR.
There probably is. They
There's
just
probably a couple.
I mean-
they're
Until you talk
probably
to 'em.
Awful. I
As
mean,
long as they don't talk to you, yeah.
There's a certain type of like redneck guy, which I'm basically a redneck, but it's very
Yeah,
sexy to me.
yeah. I mean,
I
yeah,
am.
You do. Yeah.
I'm a redneck. I just have to be a little.
man,
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to tell this on the show, but you know what I did today?
Tell me.
I bought racist chicken.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Wait,
I
what
did.
does it like?
What is
What-
the racist
what-
chicken?
Yeah. So we're doing a Mother's Day lunch, whatever you want to call it, tomorrow. Kind of a 2:00 thing. So what is that?
At your house?
It's not brunch. It's like in between lunch and dinner or whatever the fuck that's
I
called.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's
so-
still brunch to me.
Yeah. And we decided to cook. It involves chicken. So I went to the public market today, and there was only two places that had chicken, and one is the place we usually go to, and it was just a whole fucking chicken, and I'm not dealing with a chicken carcass.
Oh my God, they're so easy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
God, whole chickens are so easy.
You boil the carcass down
No,
and you get
you've
broth
already
out
gone
of
beyond. I don't need any of that. No, I need
so
to
good.
slap it for what we're doing
know,
tomorrow.
I know, for real.
Fine, you can do it, and I'll come to your house and eat your fucking
know.
chicken. All right.
Okay.
But meanwhile,
Gay men know how to cook a whole fucking chicken.
Fair
it. That's right. I do it all the time.
I hear they know how to do other things with chicken, but that's a different. It's right here on the internet. I'm reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Only on the internet.
Only. So I for pay.
So what's-
Chicken for pay.
What's the coop for out back?
Practice.
Oh.
Okay. So. Yeah, right. So right, race chicken. So
Racist
So
chicken.
the place I usually go to just had whole chickens. I was like, oh man, ain't nobody got time for that. And then so I went to the other place I knew, and it's this old white guy. Which okay, whatever, old white guys. It's what they do. Farmers, a lot of them are old white guys.
Yeah.
And there were people in line ahead of me, and they're having this conversation when I get there, and he's like, okay. I didn't know exactly who they were talking about at first, but they were literally talking about, for some reason, the city of Chicago. And I don't know exactly the certain part of Chicago, but he's like, yeah, and then that Lori Lightfoot, she brought all the, and he did it just like this, all the blacks in. He said, right. He said it that way, and I'm standing in line going, fuck, I really need this fucking chicken, man.
Dude, I got to tell you though, I mean that's annoying, and I don't know if I don't know what I would have done, but I mean I'm
They gotta
sure.
stop voting for the Democrats, man. They gotta, so you know. I mean, I know that the other party has some issues, but they gotta do something different, right? And the two customers are like, "That's right."
I agree with him there.
And I'm sitting there going,
Well, we don't totally disagree with them.
It's the
Right,
only
it's just-
chicken. Yeah, but his connotation was something different.
Well, we knew
Right,
he
because he
meant
said
Yeah.
the blacks.
Yeah,
so
the
he was being all
In
racist.
fairness,
Right.
though, I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, the whites are coming into Brooklyn and ruin it." So I guess everybody.
true.
But that is
I had not been to Brooklyn before or after, so I'm not commenting. There was no NASCAR there.
Yet.
So.
Just give it time.
Oh man,
Give it
how terrible would NASCAR in the middle of? Well, maybe it'd be awesome. I don't know.
They do have some Grand Prix, I think, in New York City somewhere. I don't know where it is. I doubt it's not on like 42nd.
I'm gonna say something
Times
right
Square.
now.
or something.
It's Queens.
I've seen the way people in this city drive, and I think if NASCAR was like less racist, we could like get other people involved with it, and it might be cool. I don't know. I'm just saying.
A less racist NASCAR.
Well, I mean, it is a pretty white sport.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Okay, so now I got an idea. Okay, I'm melding
Oh my God!
other
If there
things.
was a gay NASCAR, how great would that be?
Okay, NASCAR. Well,
How
I don't know. Would
fabulous
it?
and fun would that
oh
be?
no, it would be great if all the stereotypes were like in NASCAR too, like like gays could have like Kylie Minogue blasting out of the windows.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
If you were black, I guess you could have a boom car, and if you're white, you have to race like a big lifted Jeep.
With my luck, in my car, I would be stuck behind the car blasting "It's Raining Men" on a loop.
Well, that would be my
hours.
car.
Yeah.
Well, and various remixes.
What would your car be?
Yeah.
I really liked the Chevy Bolt. The problem is you can't soup it up anymore.
NASCAR?
Yeah,
The
dude.
first electric car
It's
in NASCAR.
very nimble and fast. It's not NASCAR fast, though. You can't soup it up. That's the problem. You'd have like 5 miles of range you'd get out of it if you souped it up. So, but they're very nimble little cars. Now, I've never driven a NASCAR, vehicle. Maybe I'd be like, well, damn.
Fucking love that.
Well,
What
I'm
was I
sure you
thinking?
would be well damn.
Probably.
How would you not? Go 200 miles an hour? You'd have to go well damn.
But I'm not going to release any emissions.
Oh, I would. As I'm
would be
shitting my
awesome.
pants, I would be really sad.
As I'm getting past it.
I'm driving an electric vehicle, but I'm releasing emissions.
Well,
buddy.
I'm saying you'd
One
have
way
to
or
soup
another.
it up. Like
Yeah.
that has a speed limiter of 92. You can get there quick, but then it just sits at 92 and there's a little flashing icon. So you're going to get passed by someone doing 110 miles an hour faster than you.
Sure.
And you're doing 92.
Well,
you
and
got to
then-
soup it up.
And then, of course, after 2 laps, you got to pull over and charge for an hour and a half.
No, I know.
The race is over, and you're
Yeah.
like still charged. Fuck, come
But
on.
imagine NASCAR where they were all electric cars.
Or the charger's broken, and the only
Right.
one's at a Burger King in fucking Dubuque. Like, fuck!
There'd be a lot of business at the Burger King.
That's what I'm saying.
But NASCAR would imagine sitting in that, around the dirt track, and it's just
Like you can't even hear it.
you're
That's
not
kind
going
of gay, too.
Yeah, it is gay.
Sitting
is
around the
so
dirt
gay. I
track.
love it.
So
Around the dirt
that
track.
would get us on the way to having NASCAR drivers with a stereotype attached to them. So Asian people would drive a sensible Toyota Camry and go the speed limit.
Okay. Be careful where you're going, B.
It's stereotypes.
I understand.
I'm not saying they're
I
just
understand.
stereotypes.
Oh, I understand. Just be careful.
So I just don't think of I don't see like race car driving as an Asian sport. So I figure they would just be frugal.
Oh, I see. It'd be like race. I'm putting air quotes. Race car driving.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. And then we could appreciate the stereotypes and learn to love one
I
another.
get the
You got-
pun
yeah,
now.
you didn't get the pun.
I did not get the pun at the beginning. I'm sorry.
So
I was still on.
that's
my
why
racist
I'm talking.
chicken and NASCAR.
Well, I did it. Have
How
you
was the
cooked it?
racist chicken? Oh wait, you haven't
No,
had the
it's
racist
tomorrow.
chicken.
It was
It's
the
tomorrow.
frosting. It was frozen.
Cook it a little
racist
longer. If it's racist, you can cook the racism out of it.
chicken. We're gonna burn it on a cross.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
Don't do it in your front lawn.
No.
That might send the wrong signal.
Yeah, to my
Especially
neighbors
to your
for
neighbors.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh god. Okay.
So what else is going on in your life?
Well, I'll just throw it out. So I have an idea.
Tell me.
I'd like to run by you guys.
Oh, that's right. You're
Oh,
excited
yes.
about that. Tell us about the great idea.
So, well, let me do a little preface here. So, sorry, we're going to get into some group therapy for a second. So, since the last time I ran for office, which was in 2019, I've been kind of adrift. You know, I mean, not work. I'm supposed to be teaching and, you know, that kind of stuff. That's fine. Little bastard swearing at me all day. And that's fine. But I mean, like my activist life, I just don't feel like, I mean, to me, it's like till I take that last breath, I'm fighting the man somehow. Could be whatever it is. I just got to do something to fuck
Right.
with the man. And just in the past few years, I've kept my toe in, but there's been nothing that's been inspiring. So I had this idea the other day. Actually, it was at school. It was before the kids got there, and I was doing my before kids teachery stuff. And I don't know where this idea popped into my head, but because I've been looking for something new to do, you know. And so, is it environmental? Is it this? I mean, it's a certain group, and I'm also starting to really just, man, this could be partially my age, and it could be all the different people I've interacted with, but I really don't have a lot of faith in people anymore. I just feel that
Yeah, I'm there.
yeah,
I think I'm sure the three of us can kind of agree with that one.
Yeah.
Well, we're very divided and upset with each other, and I think we're all kind of independent thinkers in a lot of ways, and so we find ourselves on the outs with a lot of folks. I know what you're talking about.
So I started thinking about, and this has been for a while, like what do I join a group that's already started? Do I try to start something, which I've never been very successful at people following, as noted by the tens of listeners we have here?
Hey, you know what? It's a consistent 10.
It is. No, actually it is. When we post this show, we get 20 quick downloads. I think we get about 20 people who subscribe to the show. And then the rest trickle in.
Right.
So this idea hit me. So I don't want to be in groups of people. I don't want to be in meetings anymore where one person can totally hijack it and ruin everybody's night, right? Or torpedo an action or an idea or something like that. I'm just done with that. I'm at the age now where I don't want to spend my life doing that. And I used to be mad at old folks who would like they knew better. They knew how the system sucked and they wouldn't fight. And I can think of specific people. I'm not going to call them by name, not that they're listening, but I can think of these people that fucking knew better and they should be fighting the fight more and they don't. And I realize now they're out. They've done it, and people are people and they won't fucking...
It's funny, but I've always seen it that way, and I came to that conclusion because I was getting tired of...
Is one of them Mary Lupian?
No, that's a whole different... No, I think of some older people who are older than me, who are like in their 70s now, if they're even still alive. Well,
she's a major disappointment.
Like, I didn't call that when I ran against her, but...
all right. We both called it.
Yeah, so here's my idea. I'm sorry, I really needed this lead up because I think it's going to add to where my idea. So I want it to be systemic because what do they call it? Like something around the margins, whatever. I don't want to nibble around the margins or whatever. I want this to fuck the system. And the books I've been reading lately, this is all systemic. I think you're just throwing yourself against that castle wall if you're just trying to do one specific thing. You got to tear this shit down. And the book I'm reading now, and I'm hoping I can get this guy. We've had some authors on the show that have been pretty awesome lately.
Oh my God, the last one,
Matt.
Oh my God, I adore. I would just like hang out with that dude.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like I would go up and hang out with him and his family, and just like he just sounds fabulous.
In fact, Peter, I have his book. You need to take it with you and just read it.
Okay,
if you
that's great.
Yeah. And I'll tell you the story of how it got to this. Alex turned me on to this guy.
Okay.
And Alex still hasn't read any of his stuff, but I'll tell you the story later.
I kind of know a little bit about that. But
the Libertarian book? Did he mention it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It went from that to his new book, and we had him on the show a couple weeks ago. So here's my idea. Because I can totally do this by myself. I don't have to rely on anybody else. And I don't have to have meetings where Robert's Rule of Order and, one person who has a blocking concern means nobody gets shit done and all that kind of stuff. So I want to have a website where folks can go and take action to fuck with the man. And it's not necessarily my actions. I want to be the aggregator of what other people are doing. So you can find news articles on alternative media that's, here was this protest that happened. Here is this push that happened.
Right.
I want to have something where people can go, even if it's on a daily basis, a 2-minute thing, what can I do right now to fuck with the man? Maybe in person. Here's a protest that's happening, a war protest in New York City where there's 800,000 people going, which I've been to. Or here's a 2-minute thing. I can send an email to AOC to tell her stop being a fucking hypocrite and actually fucking put a bill that literally does something out there. Something that, whether it's that quick
tweeting, start doing.
Well, even if it's a tweet, whatever. But I want it to be, it's not to just say, go tweet something. I want the specifics there about we are going to get single payer healthcare. There is a bill hanging out that won't come out of committee. Here's the douchebag you got to go after to get this thing out of committee.
Well, I like the idea.
I actually, I want to let you keep going, but
You should.
I love this idea.
Yeah.
Like I'm like thinking about this and thinking about people, like maybe not call it Dave's list, but kind of like that, like Robert's Rules of Order.
Well, I don't have a name yet.
But I'm picturing in my head saying, oh yeah, I went to Dave's list and Dave's list had a thing on it, and like I could almost see that happen, like
or at some point, like have a daily email thing, kind of. And I mean, that's time, and it's again, I'm back to not wanting to do it
because you're right. People want to know. People want to know what they can do because they know, even if they can't do, if they can. Like, so I know sometimes they can't do, and it's really more about like where they can donate, but whatever. It's like still like even
then
great.
There might be something like where you can donate to an agency that might need it for a lawsuit or something, right? So like I like the idea, and you letting people tag interests and get notified.
Yeah, and so obviously everything you put on there would have like the words in there, so you could like search for abortion, you could search whatever,
right?
And I want to do the more bigger things, again, more systemic. So it's going to be, we're talking about anti-capitalism, and again, we're back to, we believe in commerce, just not this capitalist profited over everything. So anti-capitalism, anti-war, I mean, like the big shit, because people feel like they have no control of that. So I want to find legislation, I want to find specific direct actions that haven't happened yet, that people can get involved in before, not hear about it after it happened.
No, it makes total sense. I mean, in a way, it's an extension. What was it? CapWiz?
See, okay, thank you. That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
So that is kind of what I thought about, that thing that we worked with when we were doing.
But it would just have a different
Center for Disability Rights
sort of interface, and the users could submit events and somehow maybe have them vetted. And then it's like
you can even have
an
app. There's an app for that's an app.
Yeah,
that sounds like an app too.
I would need to get the website and get a group.
I know, but I'm just saying, to me, that also sounds like a great app.
Yeah, because
I have the Goods Unitas app, and I definitely check that out sometimes before buying things or going somewhere, and so I mean, to me, that sounds like an app. Just saying.
Well,
I love apps, so
a mobile-friendly website, would help there too.
Okay, so if you don't mind, Pete, this kind of where I wanted to bounce the general idea off of you, because you give a shit almost to a fault, right? Because sometimes it bugs you that like.
I gotta tell you. So today, walking up to the Lilac Festival, I see this terrible traffic calming thing they're doing on South Ave.
It smells so nice.
We just started ripping.
I got lilacs in my backyard.
I know, but you don't have like 50 different, 100 different varieties.
No,
they all
but you've
smell
got
different.
Assholes who are like being jerks because they want fucking waffle cones or something.
I never go to that. I just go to the flower part.
I'm sort of with you, and I really like it when they do the art thing up on the reservoir, because
I do love the art thing.
I like that, because then a lot of them are local artists. I won't say all of them, but we just bought something again today. I love pottery.
Yeah.
So
super duper. Big fan.
And it turns out.
Do you pot?
When I was in high school, I was politely asked to stop doing the potter's wheel thing. I love pottery and like throwing like things on a potter's wheel.
What did you do? Meant? Yeah, of course I did.
No, I did it every day. I booked it every day.
Oh, okay.
So after a while, the teacher's
maybe
like,
put your dick in it or something else.
No,
Like, okay.
She's
like,
like, we have other students that would like to use the equipment. And I'm like, then sign up for it. I don't know.
Like, I didn't tell you. I mean.
So anyway, I have a thing for pottery.
Okay.
A boner for pottery.
I like pottery.
With all the things you've done, and I'm surprised that then you don't like have a wheel at your house or something, or you go.
Well,
it's not a cheap hobby. That is not a cheap hobby.
I mean, it's not expensive either. Actually, the worst part's firing this stuff.
Yeah. The kiln part's the worst.
Yeah, if in Rochester,
you can do air dry too.
You could. Yeah, in Rochester, I like the glazings and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've totally taken from your point.
Dude, no.
I forget
You've been on the show.
What my point was now, but I love your idea. I'll take it.
It's a great idea.
Okay, but also I wanted to pick your brain about the more technical part of it.
Yeah,
because so in my mind, as I do, I like really let's say this actually works and it takes off. Obviously, the man's going to be pissed,
right?
And they're going to come after me in some way, or come after it. The man.
Oh, the man is going to be pissed. Yeah.
Whoever.
So here's what you do.
Well. So right now, my
that means you're doing something right, though.
No, I understand. Hold on, but my online level of being able to do shit is literally using like the Google suite, right? So it's okay. See, I could tell, Barrett, you already know where I'm going. This is totally a vulnerable thing,
right?
And
no,
I have
100%.
And I have no idea how to like make it less. There's no 100%. Not vulnerable, but I have no idea how to make this less vulnerable.
Locating it outside of U.S. jurisdiction.
I thought of that too. I don't know how to do that. I know.
Well,
you
just like so.
VPN, right?
China has a lot of stuff that's like they don't want their like Office 365
God,
stuff.
I'm going to jail,
right? But
if I start getting China involved,
you could host your stuff in China. You're not going to get any political pushback from the Chinese.
Right.
You could host your stuff in China, and then it's a network security issue from that point forward to make sure the government couldn't hack it in some way to gain information and potentially administratively having it owned by something in China.
Right.
Where they wouldn't have access to the records. And then you'd be pretty much in the clear.
Yeah. I mean, this would definitely be U.S. centered because, in my opinion, the country that I live in. I'm not gonna say I'm part of the government. Yeah. Our country is the biggest threat to humanity. On different places within war, in the environment, and climate change, we are the biggest threat to humanity.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we're probably up there with China and Russia, though.
I see that not as like
I don't think they're even close.
I think it's more nuanced. But like China is doing a lot of stuff right now with. I think the Chinese and Russian governments are not as human friendly as ours.
There isn't any.
But I'm not saying that ours is perfect by any means. But I would put us high on the list. I mean, I don't know that you either got to.
India's got a lot of problems as well.
Yeah, I mean,
of course, these are all like the largest countries.
And we're talking about governments. These aren't even like the individual citizens who just want to fucking live their lives.
Right.
We're talking about people who...
It's a government problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to fuck with.
I feel like... yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a nuanced conversation. I love the idea, but... locally, what can we do to fix things here? I think there's some things America does well at, but the problem is that I'm government.
Man. I'm not going after Malik Evans. Fuck that guy.
No, well, it's a systemic issue.
Our local mayor, by the way. Sorry about that. Our local mayor.
It's a systemic issue that bubbles up to our president and our Supreme Court. Like, I often wonder, like, is this the best we can do as humans?
Right. And that's what
Yeah. But I also think that power will always concentrate if you don't have something like that where you can hold it to task. Mm-hmm. So.
What do you got there, Dave?
So I would love to tell you I'm deep in this book, but the writing, this isn't a great, this isn't a great endorsement for this book, but the writing's a little slow in terms of being able to read it for me. I have to keep putting it down to let whatever he's putting in there kind of process.
Right.
But it's called We the Elites, and it's from Robert Ovitz, who's a professor at the University of blah, 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 because I don't remember. And he's basically saying that our country is operating exactly like it's supposed to, the way it was designed, that our what we call, quote, the founding fathers were all like white guys and elitists, and they didn't want us having real say in how our country's run. And he's giving the founding fathers actual words in their notes and their correspondences and shit like that. Yeah, so I'm like in this, and like I get literally 2-3 pages at a time, and I got to put it down and process shit because it's like that kind of. But it is really awesome so far, and I found out about this book from an interview on Richard Wolff's podcast, which I just think everybody in the world should be listening to on a weekly basis. But
I don't. It's interesting because when I think about it, like I probably would agree with 95% of this book, but the lead-in makes it sound like our system is uniquely bad because 55 rich white men wrote it.
No. But it's literally the reason is the entire focus is to just focus on our Constitution. It's not. Yeah. He has no mention that other places are better, or it doesn't even mention other countries.
It's just about us,
right? No, well, mostly the Constitution, because people highlight this as like this glorious document that is sacrosanct, and he's going, dudes, chill for a minute. Right. That's basically what he's saying.
I mean, it's interesting to me that we can go back, as far back in time in any country and find that the people that live in that country were awful to each other. But we act like we had it all sorted out when the Constitution was penned.
It's true. I know. We do, but I mean, it just shows that we didn't because we have to have amendments. So
and he makes a really interesting. And I'm sure he's not the first person to do this, but I'd never heard it said this way. That the U.S. Constitution, we like talking about, and even my little kids when they say, my ninth graders, when they go, I can tell you to fuck off, freedom of speech.
Right.
But really, the Constitution was more about protecting property than rights. And that's what I'm getting into. And I'm like, oh, man, this is one of those mind blowers. Oh, shit, I hadn't thought of it this way.
Well, I find it interesting, too, because historically, I'm going to assume, for the argument I'm about to make.
As an artist, I like the cover art. Just gonna say.
I do. It's got a.
I'm assuming he didn't do it, but I'll ask. If we ever get him on the show, we can ask him. I want to get him on the show.
Even if the Constitution was written by the word of God and was intended to be what everybody makes it out to have been.
Well, at least the Second Amendment was.
It's been well, I have a whole view on the Second Amendment.
Sorry, I didn't mean to disrupt you.
It's funny,
I was making a joke.
But like the Second Amendment itself, right, was by some counts of history when we said that the federal government couldn't hold any standing armies for more than 2 years and so on and so forth. There was some letters written back and forth about, well, how are people going to form militias to protect their own states if they can't have guns to do so, because a lot of countries at the time prohibited gun ownership. So there was some letters written back and forth, and the Second Amendment is really only meant to say that people shall have the right to bear arms to create those militias because the federal government couldn't do it. That's not where we're at today.
Oh, right. No. The people who tout the Second Amendment as sacrosanct is like they have no idea what it really means.
But like
okay.
Somebody once told me, they said, well, nothing in the Constitution guarantees health care. And I'm like, right, because it was written when we were like bleeding people to let the pressure,
which is part of the book I want to give you. That way I want to show you.
But, I mean, the fact is that even if our government was set up by Jesus himself and was the perfect system, we've let it become perverted from even the best way of looking at it. I mean, you have to maintain a government towards the direction of morality, and I don't think ours has been there for a long time.
So to bring it back, so I have to figure out, should I just go ahead and use the Google shit and say whatever happens, or do I have to start hanging out at Tiananmen Square? What do I got to do?
So what's likely to happen if you figured out some way to host it at Google? See, I think this is going to require like a website developer. I think it would be possible to do it on a list like that, but I think you should be heading in the direction of a purpose-built website.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I 100%.
So, and you could also possibly, and there's people way smarter than me and several other industries that could tell you about this, but if you wanted it to be based in America, there are things you could do that would make it difficult for the government to have a whole lot of control over the stuff. But maybe having it owned by a corporation where anybody that bought $1 in stock or something is part owner of that organization, and then they all collectively as a board of the shareholders, like that way you could get people to sign on to the decisions and the ownership of it or something. There's got to be some creative way to have it owned.
Try not to, again, back to the beginning, I'm trying not to involve a lot of people because people fuck shit up.
No, I'm not saying like that. What I'm saying is like, maybe you craft the corporation where everybody that buys $1 of stock is on the board, but maybe you have sole control over the direction of the company. Like, I don't know, some way though to spread the ownership of it where they can't just point to one person. Because then the company would be buying the services, the company would be doing this, the company would be doing that on behalf of everybody that was a stockholder. Like, I don't know, there's got to be some legal guy out there is like yelling at his computer that, no, it should be done this way, but whatever that way is, what, you know.
Well, I will say this, there is an entity, and we won't get into the details. It's nothing nefarious, probably just because I'm ignorant. There is an entity, Stuart Perdesso LLC.
Right.
I don't know if that would be.
Yeah, I mean, I think somebody with more legal knowledge could figure out a way that anybody that bought a share of it, that way, if 100 million people bought a share of it, right?
If only any lawyers listen to the show.
I know. I'm like, I wonder if you know anybody who can help you.
They might be. I might be totally off base, but you know, if say you got 10 million stockholders, what are they going to arrest 10 million people for ownership of the company?
Well, no, I know this much. I mean, if you do that kind of structure, you have a CEO. You have to have something.
Well, I think that in a standard corporation, that's so that you can be held accountable to the shareholders. But if it's agreed up front that structure doesn't exist for this corporation, you bought $1 of stock. There's some creative legal way to make that happen.
No, you're definitely going to need a lawyer, and I would definitely.
Anybody out there who I know
who wants to talk to me about this?
Maybe you could trade legal advice for like podcast advertisement.
Well, I don't think my lawyer would need that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think your lawyer's doing just fine.
Is it Celino and Barnes?
No.
Or Barnes? I think it's just Barnes now.
No, no.
That's old news.
Yeah. I would say you met him at my wedding, but you didn't meet many people at my wedding.
Well, you said I couldn't come in the building, so
the stadium. No, you were there. You were preoccupied.
I was very preoccupied.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
This is a shit day for me.
It was. Yeah. Sorry about. I am so sorry. I wish there was something I could have done.
Hey, you know what? I'll never forget your wedding.
That's nobody. It's true. That is fair.
Yep.
And neither was it with that kid who you terrified.
Yeah. Imagine being a small child having to step over a river of shit.
It's a terrible thought.
It is.
It's the next Hallmark Christmas movie.
Oh my God! Why isn't that
called River of Shit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
You know, going back to before the show, that terrible band name, the Shit Dicks.
The Shit Dicks, which, by the way, the Shit Dicks just got added to our list of band names, which you should, if you haven't looked at our list of band names.
It's like just a good time.
Oh my God.
You will giggle and you will have a good time reading them out loud.
You'll roll your eyes. You go to
You might get offended too, but then just keep reading and I don't know, maybe. You never know what people.
Can I ask you a question of statistics?
Yeah.
Of the ones related to various anal sex issues, how many of those did I come up with?
Oh yeah,
probably the majority of them.
I have
probably. Look at you!
I've carved a niche out for myself. I'm making a name for myself.
You are.
My mom would be proud.
Your mom. Let's call her.
Peter, did you come up with the Shit Dicks? I didn't specifically come up with it, Mom. I just introduced
it. It just happened.
Let me see if there's anything. Anal. You tell me if this was you. I like 9 times out of 10 here. I do not remember how they came by.
I don't know that I'm going to be able to be unbiased. Go ahead.
No, I did it.
I'm looking for anything with anal in it. I mean, there's Swamp Ass Express. I don't think that's.
I'm pretty sure that was me. Actually,
so?
Will and I talk about Swamp Ass all the time.
I use Swamp Ass too, but it could be.
Okay.
All right.
It could be a conversation or just hearing you talk, and I just write it down.
That could be.
That
yeah.
Totally. Wow, nothing with anal yet. I know there's something. Oh well, I know with this one. This is definitely connected to you, but not you.
Okay.
But I did learn this from you. I do have Marihucci Cigarucci.
Oh, that directly is from me though, and that I made the word up to. Well,
did you?
To terrorize my friend.
Okay, I didn't realize that part, but yeah. You're not Angry Vaginas.
That's not me.
No. Taint Sombrero. That's not.
Oh no, that would no.
No, I say taint something a lot, but I would have said it would have been like a verb.
I think that was with Eric.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
I have a feeling that's an Eric thing.
I just don't. I don't see. I see ass orbit,
That's not me.
Yeah, no,
But I think ass and anal are two different things. Because you can think
really?
someone has a nice ass, but not want to do anal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, again, it's a niche thing that I come up with.
I'm really in the old stuff now. I will say this again. One of my favorites is the Cocksucker Band.
That wasn't me,
That's a
but I like
jazz
that.
fusion band. Yeah, totally.
The Cocksucker?
Yeah, Cocksucker. Yeah.
Who came up with that one? Do you remember?
Oh, that was me.
That was you? That's a good one.
COX-ZUCK.
Dude.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Cocksucker.
Let's start a 2-person band, you and I, so we can use that.
Okay.
Who's Cox and who's Zucker?
I'll be Zucker. You can be Cox. I'm fine.
You
I
know
don't
it.
care.
I know. It's fine.
That's it. I just assumed. Well, there's Ass Keg. But that
could have been
Eric.
anybody.
No, that was
No,
Eric.
That was
that
definitely
that
Eric.
was. That was the pickup line. He wants to tap it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ass cake. Got it.
You know, you've helped me learn something about myself. I tend to make up band names that are the act of doing something or the result of doing something, right? I tend not to do nouns. Or,
I don't even know how. I'm sure some of my ideas made it up on there, but I wouldn't even know.
So far, I have 2 anals I'm seeing, and this was a long time. This is like at the beginning. Anal vertigo.
Not me.
And
I jump right in.
No, actually, I think I remember this one. This came from a conversation on the show. Anal maracas. Yeah.
Is this another cheese or
This
Eric
was a
think?
real. No, that's not anal.
I'm thinking of some things I've seen, behind closed doors that make anal Moroccos.
That's it. Maracas, yeah. Well, okay, that was it.
All right, good times.
If jiggling had a sound, it would be
Yeah.
Moroccos.
Moroccos.
Well, if you had like, so okay, suppose you were running away and someone hit you, like shot at you with like a shotgun with like birdshot, and you had all those pellets in your ass. And from now on, your ass would be like make that shaker noise. It could be anal maracas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
Did I get
bodies
too far
work
in?
that
Was
way,
like
but
a long setup on that joke.
I don't
Well,
think it works that way.
I think there's better ways to make it happen. Like you could sew a pouch of nickels into their ass cheeks.
Yeah, but you
know.
gotta find a special.
I got
person to let you do
nickels.
that.
I got nickels.
It's 2023.
I do walk around with a sock full of nickels just in case.
I put an egg in a sock, and when I hit someone with it, I say, "Homie, don't play that." Remember that?
I do.
Wasn't that great? I did that to my sister once. It hurts.
An egg?
Yeah, in a sock.
One
I whipped
egg.
her with it. I don't know. I saw it on TV.
Because homie don't play
Wait,
that.
homie. Wait,
Yeah, in
homie the
living
clown?
color. Yeah.
There was an egg in there. Is that
It
what was in
wasn't
there?
there?
I don't
think
remember.
so,
what
but
was in
There was one where he
Maybe
hit.
he did.
I think he put different things in it.
I just remember him hitting. I don't remember.
We're gonna
Homie
look
don't
at the
play that, I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, the homie
so
don't play
I
that.
did that with my sister. I hit her with an egg, and it
like a
hurt.
regular egg, not hard.
Yeah, it almost
Not an
like
Easter egg.
knocked her out.
Oh my god!
And the
You must have
moment
gotten so much trouble.
I felt so bad the moment I saw her head like go limp. I was like, "Oh my god! What did I do?" She's fine from it.
I'm
Oh,
sure.
I was about to go.
Like,
But-
and she's
Is this
never
the
been
dead
the
sister
same.
I
No,
never heard
I
about?
mean,
Okay.
what's that?
Is this the dead sister I never heard about?
The dead sister.
We don't
No,
talk
she's
about
dead to me
her.
for different
We
reasons.
don't-
But
Oh.
but I felt so bad about it. My mom was like yelling at me, and I'm like, "Don't yell at me. I feel bad enough already."
Yeah,
like,
I really am so sorry.
So-
I'm 56 years old. I still hear shit about the time I hit my sister in the face with a King Kong doll that I had.
Meanwhile, your sister
was, like,
kicked you in the balls like
5.
14 times, and your mom's like, "LOL."
she never did that.
Oh.
But no. I was like 5. I got mad about something and I did her in the head with a doll, and I still hear about this fucking King Kong doll.
Yeah, my mom told me that one of the few times she hit me, I walked into a room and I slapped my sister upside the face. I was like 2.
What the hell? 2?
Yeah. And so my
old was
mom
she?
came in and slapped me upside the face. And when I got mad at her, she said, "Well, you just did that to your sister. How did you like it?" That's just, I don't know why I brought that
Wow.
story up.
All right.
It might be because I'm baked,
It might be.
but for the listeners,
No, I'm good.
A non-alcoholic beverage?
anything
And-
non-alcoholic.
A lemon, something lemony.
Stuart, you're the reason I stay flexible. We're not. Are we?
Sweet.
Are we still recording?
Yes, we are.
He's like, wait, are we really on?
Yes, we are.
That's how I talk to Stu off the mic.
I have a new idea for a new ID for Stuart Pedasso Radio. If y'all aren't listening to Stuart Pedasso
Why?
Radio, I don't know why. I don't know what you're doing with your life.
You're not listening to Stuart Pedasso Radio. That's what you're not doing.
I mean, I literally, okay, I know it's what I put together, but I think the mix on there is pretty fucking cool. I think y'all should be listening to it.
Well, can I tell you that
No, please.
it's illegal to live in Webster and not listen to your show?
Actually, I would think the opposite. In Webster, it would be illegal to listen to it.
Well,
in
if that's where
Webster.
life is worth living,
Yeah, no, that's...
then you have to listen to Stuart
Well,
Pedasso.
if you've been to Webster, you know that
that's a false.
There's a lot of... That's an unpacking thing you got to do for that saying.
Man.
If you're
Yeah.
not from Rochester, then
Which
you don't
is
know.
sad, because there's people I deeply, truly love who live in Webster, and
Well,
just like,
that's true.
stop. Just move.
It's
Could
funny
you please
because
move back?
Yes.
Please
most
move
of
back
the
to the
people-
city.
most of the people I know in Webster are pretty not like that.
Right.
But the town somehow still exudes that. I don't know how that is.
Somehow? Well,
No, I mean, but think about it. I don't know anybody that thinks like that from Webster, honestly, but somehow the town still oozes.
Pete,
like-
because because it's the same concept that Melissa and I talk about all the time, and like who you hang around.
Well,
tends
that's
to-
true.
right.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't meet these people. A lot of them are professionally. Like, I'm not seeking them out.
You know
I
what
don't
you
know.
need to do? Volunteer for someone running for office in Webster and go door to door. You'll quickly find out why it has that reputation of being doucheville.
I don't know. I mean, you probably people live around people that they think alike, right?
Generally.
I mean, you'll probably find some ignorance everywhere. I'm guessing. It's probably not Webster, but
No, but when you have on all your signs where life is worth living, you're open yourself
there's a
up to
little
some
bit
mocking.
of pompous.
Yeah,
no,
right.
I know. Well, I
You're
started
going
this.
to be mocked.
I started this discussion out mocking them.
Yeah, right.
So
I mean,
That's-
I'm just saying I wouldn't live there.
Yeah,
I couldn't afford to live there.
Well, that's
but I also
I
wouldn't
would,
live there anyway.
but
Oh,
I
sorry,
just
babe.
would tell everyone I met, like,
you live in Gates.
I'm not I'm from Gates. Come over to my house. Where do you live? I'd keep a shadow house on Gates.
Yeah.
So I
just
could-
didn't,
mail
yeah.
so you don't have to be embarrassed.
All right.
But no, I've seen some beautiful houses in Webster. Unfortunately, it probably just needs more open-minded people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, not
Yeah,
me.
they do.
So,
I get to drive through it every day, but I'm not.
yeehaw.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing. Like thinking about like in the like people who are okay. So I just talked to hopefully a future customer again at the MAG on Thursday. They live. Her and her husband are looking to buy a house in Rochester. I think they said one of their children goes to school here or just graduated from here or something. Like there is like another reason why they're here, but they're from Texas.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah, we're moving. And they're like, they're probably around 60, 70-ish. I mean, definitely look of like past retirement age. And they're like, yeah, we have to move from Texas. Like there's all these people that are cool,
That's
but they can't live there anymore. So all that's left, going to be left in some of these places is just going to get more and more redder. And
That's
I don't know.
something
It makes me worried because like I want to support, like, first of all, people shouldn't have to leave their hometowns.
Yeah.
First of all. So that makes me sad. And then, and I'm like, I'd rather like support the people that are still living there and have them keep fighting to have things be better.
I go back and forth with that. That exact
Yeah.
thought. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, I want to make this joke, not joke, where, you want to donate money to shit. Let's have a fund to help actual humanistic people get the fuck out of those places like Florida and Texas and shit, and just have them come to a place that's a little bit more chill.
Right.
But like we said, by the same token, I mean, they shouldn't have to move.
They shouldn't have to move if they've lived there their whole lives or whatever. They shouldn't have to.
Trans people, let's just fucking get them out of there. If they're
I
gonna be
feel-
abused
But they
like
shouldn't
that.
have to be.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to leave.
right. No,
Yeah,
I totally-
on one side of things, I feel like I disagree with you, and on one side, I think a lot of people that move there don't like. There's some downsides to living in Rochester. Like I considered moving to some of those places, right? But then I moved to those places, and I got to deal with a different subset of shit. You know, it's like it's just a different type of crime. I think in a lot of times people end up where they have to make a change in their lives. Like there's things about Rochester that are driving me nuts. I don't know. Maybe we're pushed out of those places too into red states. You know what I'm saying? Like crime. Some of the quality of life issues we've had lately have had me thinking about leaving Rochester, and I'd love for us to maybe fix some of those things so that we can attract those people back.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I
firmly believe that it has to be, and I go back to my big idea that now that I have to get in bed with the Chinese government, I don't know how I'm going to do, but the whole government. I'm getting literally in bed with
ask that one lawyer person, you know.
Yeah, there's going to be a way to structure it where I mean, I guess
don't want to work with people. That's the whole point. I mean, that sounds fucked up, but I've done it, and I'm just tired. I need a break from. I just left an organization, and unfortunately, they never took me off the email list.
Yeah,
and I'm getting these emails, seeing how they're still fucking arguing with each other, and I'm like.
But you know, the problem is, this is the problem, right? So when people go work for a large faceless corporation, they're just out trying to make a bunch of money. You know, they're out trying to make money so they can go home and get high or whatever. That's what I do with mine. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but when you work in an organization like that, that's personal. It's not just going to make money. It's going to make change. And that's why I think particularly on the left, of those organizations, you have to have an organization. You have to have people you can work with and trust to get past any size of, you know, any scale. Yeah. You have to have those people, but at the same time, you're asking those people to commit, like,
to not be a dick and just put their own little petty. Okay, somebody said something that annoyed you,
right?
Does this have to come to a grinding halt because you're? I'm not going to use that term because you're annoyed,
right?
And that in whether it's Green Party, whether it's this police accountability stuff I've been doing, whatever, there's always folks who just make everything come to a grinding halt because they feel that they were hurt, and maybe there was something said that was not the best, you know, thing ever said in the world, but holy shit, we got to spend the last hour of this fucking meeting like talking
about
that. That's the thing. Like that's where inevitably somebody's going to set a direction for the company, right? Like for myself, I'm not on board with a lot of progressive ideas that aren't wholly inclusive, right? So like this is just something I was talking about with Will, doulas, right? Like there's a push to get doulas into like black households.
Okay.
And they're kind of acting like all women don't face those issues. Like I know black women have some disproportionate percentages, but my thing is I think all women should have access to a doula, right? Like let's help them get childbirth's hard. But a lot of progressive people would say, no, we have to better for certain communities. And my way of thinking is all communities or none. You can't just keep advantaging one group over another, and it just gets too complicated. All of it, everybody, right? But that really breaks a lot of people on the left up when I say that. I need to agree with their form of progressivism. Like that's going to be a very difficult like company to build.
Feel like in a case like that, it's more like they make sure the people who've been disproportionately affected make sure that they have access first. I guess that's part of my thing. And then
first? If
the people, because the people who need it need it.
Well, but first. Why would you say like? I think all women need access to a doula, right? Like we're doing it now.
You know what? I know. I'm just saying, like anybody, doesn't matter if you're black or white. I guess I just feel like it should just go to whoever needs it first.
Pete, it sounds like it's the same kind of concept of Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter. Nobody's saying all lives don't matter, but right now that's the house
at the
that's on
same
fire.
time, though, right? Like in a lot of people on the I feel this way, right? There's a lot of things.
I don't think anybody disagrees with you saying everyone should have access to a duel.
Right.
I don't.
So, but there are actually people that disagree with what I just said, like angrily disagree, and so inevitably you're going to rub someone the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're not going to get away from the politics. You just have to accept they're going to be there.
So back again to making it about me. So that's what and again, back to my thing of where I remember when I was coming up as an activist and getting really frustrated with these old people who I knew better.
Right.
Just, it's like, but now I get it. And I guess that total thing where old folks, you wait, Sonny, when you get to be my age, you'll understand. Totally, this is happening. Yeah. I absolutely get it.
Yeah. I mean, it's inevitable. So, or you can take an active role in curating that stuff and accept that you're gonna upset some people from time to time.
That
but
part I'm not worried about.
Yeah,
you can't do anything with another. There's two people in a room. Eventually, you're gonna piss one of you. Yeah.
I don't think those things are inevitable. They're gonna happen whether you want them to or not. But I love the idea.
Shit in my head, man.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that.
So anyway, man,
I think we should always look at who's really affected the worst, whether it's like if you're specifically poor, if it's a specific race, whatever, who is really affected the worst of whatever situation is. And I just feel like that's the first focus always is like who's really affected the worst.
For me, again, So I grew up in deep poverty, and I know a lot of white families that went through that too. So when you say who's impacted the worst, we can really take care of everyone first.
Oh, dude, but that's that
part is true.
No, they're and I've said this a million times. I said this when I've run for office: is that we have enough resources that there is nobody should have want.
So we got to stop thinking about who should get it first, because that also means often they get it first and then it's chipped away at, and they're the ones that are left, first and last. Like that's where our division comes from. And I would say for me, we all have to coalesce as communities together and start standing together. We're off in a total philosophical direction, but
I'm not. No,
whatever. It's a podcast.
Whatever. I think that right here where we are right now is like a melding of the ideology versus how people's realist experiences, and I think it's the people who are like getting mad about. Let's just stay with the doula thing, okay?
Right.
It's people who have been fucked over enough where they don't trust anybody coming and saying everybody should have it.
Well, it's the same again, though. It's a matter of perspective.
But I know you don't mean that, Pete. I know because I know you. But it's people who either don't know you or whatever, and they're like, yeah, okay, I get it. Everybody should have it. But when that happens, usually it's the non-white people who get fucked over. So we don't trust it.
Do you know the saying toothless redneck comes from white people that don't have access to dental care and their necks are red because they're doing back-breaking work in the sun all day? Like, we're all climbing over each other to see who gets it first, but there are a lot of people in need here, and that's why philosophically,
you're not saying I don't think anybody would disagree. I think it's just an experiential, historical thing where people just don't trust it. When people come in and say everyone should have this, that the folks who haven't been getting it are saying, well, it's not going to be us. Trust me. We just know historically.
Yeah, we can't. That's the other side of the coin, right?
Like, how do you get people to trust it? You're absolutely right.
Because an inner city black woman and a rural white woman and, a Latin American woman that just came in, they're all, if they're poor, they're all in a bad fucking place.
Absolutely.
So we got to stop talking about who deserves what first. Everybody deserves this stuff, and it needs to be. We need it to codify that it goes to those communities. But
I know it's a theory, whatever, we air quotes on that, but it's that Maslow's hierarchy, right? It's like the food, clothing, shelter. I mean, that should be everybody's thing. And then if we want to fucking argue about how many yachts everybody gets, fine.
Well, You know,
I took it to 11.
No, but you're right though, because a lot of times that happens.
Yeah.
We don't coalesce as a community. It's like, even I live in a black neighborhood, and there are times I get upset with something and I say, well, black people, and I'm like, well, what about my neighbor on one side? He's not like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, we have to coalesce as a community and take care of each other equally, and that includes people of color. But I think if you're going to have an organization, taking it back to your idea,
excuse me,
but I don't want this again. I don't want it. I'm just in a place right now. I don't want it to be. I literally want it to be me with a big ass beard sitting in front of this fucking screen, just doing it. I know that sounds like not successful, but I just don't want to deal with that shit.
I think if you had enough money to get a platform that could be completely and totally controlled and run by you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my God, Michael Bloomberg probably has some money.
So great, that'll go well. The Stuart Badasso media empire is pretty much Google based. I'm just saying. I mean, the government's not coming after Stuart, but I mean, the website technically is a blog. It's blogger.com. I mean, I'm just saying it functions like a blog, even though it might not specifically look like one, but it's really just a quote blog.
But you know, it's the internet, so you have to rely on several large, dirty corporations, no matter what you do.
No, I know. Oh,
I mean, isn't Google a large, dirty corporation?
It is. Yeah.
Oh no, it totally is. No, that's why I'm like. There's always a compromise. There is no look. You can't live in this society unless you grow 100% of your own food, make all of your own clothes, and grow the fibers to make your clothes, your shoes. There's just no way. There is compromise. No matter what, there is. And so before we got on we hit record and we were doing the Amazon thing. And I made the joke like I'm trying not to judge my friends kind of thing, but I totally get it. There were people from the disability community going, yeah, okay, you don't want us to buy from Amazon, but we can't fucking leave the house because there's no ramps anywhere.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm not going to judge folks for doing that, but Jeff Bezos sucks, and anybody who can fucking get their ass up and go to the store, fucking get your ass up and go to the store. I mean, that's...
Right, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so I know, there's no way I'm not going to give, like, fucking rich-ass corporations money doing this, but...
Yeah, but... You can minimize that.
That's what I want to do. I want to minimize it. Yeah. I don't. So I'm getting in bed with the Chinese government. Is that what I'm doing?
They have a vested interest in protecting their assets from American hacking, from American spying, right?
I'm not like I hate America and I want to bring America down. I'm like,
no, obviously not.
No, but I hate people who do shitty things, and the government's made of people who are doing shitty things, not just our government. But I do think that right now our government
is the biggest government.
I don't. That's what I think.
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing. I mean,
it's degrees.
The way I see it is let AI make decisions. Like it almost no, I'm not joking, but like
I wish you were. Please say you're joking.
If you took
now I will judge.
If you took a room full of white people and a room full of black people, and you ask them what they need most right now today, you're gonna get different answers.
Right.
One answer is 100% correct for the white people, and
you could take a room full of black people, and the answers aren't gonna be the same.
They're not gonna be the same, right? So. I don't know. I mean,
so okay. So we are over an hour. So I'll just
always.
So I'll
always with you, Peter.
Sorry.
Everybody.
I know. No, I love it.
We haven't been under an hour. Actually, the last show was under an hour because I didn't have any more audio from the Rochester Erotic Arts Festival.
Oh, okay.
So that was like 50 minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
Shame.
People didn't get their money's worth, which was 0.
I think on average.
Yeah. I have brought this up to classes before, that you show them a world map, and like, I don't know the answer to this question. It's kind of rhetorical, but I can't think of a boundary, a border on this map that hadn't happened because of robbery, theft, rape, murder, whatever.
Sure.
That's just how it works. And even states as well in the United States. I don't know about towns. I don't know if anybody was raped or murdered to form the town of Webster. Could be. It could be.
It wouldn't be shocking.
Living.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Wouldn't be that
but
shocking.
at least countries for sure. I even the neutral country of Switzerland, I would need to read up on it, but their boundaries, I'm sure, had to do with somebody getting fucked over.
So I would say that the very existence of any form of government at all is just an example of the outcomes of a power struggle.
Yeah. No,
I mean, literally the entire structure of
So
our...
John Lennon was right. Imagine there's no countries.
Put 10 people in a room, and by nature, they will separate into two groups. And maybe over a difference big enough that they start fighting each other and murdering each other over it, but they were originally the same 10 people. Like, that's just how human beings behave.
And, you know, I have seen things where, like, what that's been said that originally that we are quote unquote by nature a communal species, but I think we've been trained to not be that way.
Well, I think that we had to be a communal species when
We're still a communal species.
we are really. I mean, we like living in
We're
cities
still
by
living
large.
in cities and like
But we don't.
towns
No,
and-
but to the point where we don't.
Take care of each other as
Take care of
fully
each
as a
other.
Oh, you
community.
mean that way?
Yes,
Well-
I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, sorry.
It's exactly what I did.
I missed that part. Okay.
We were a communal species because if you took a Republican and a Democrat and you dropped them in the woods 500 years ago, they're going to be friends real quick because their life depends on it. You know, when you take care of people's basic needs, they just find more stuff to be upset and divided about. It's just our nature. And then some of those things realize is wars or mistreatment of other people. If I don't enslave this group of people, maybe they take us over or something, right? Like, people's survival instinct is always going to find something to be upset about, like, and that's going to cause a power imbalance, which is going to make us form a government to try to protect each
We
other
always
from
want
it.
more.
That's right.
We always want more.
So on that note, have a good week, everybody.
Yeah, everybody else have a great week.
Sorry.
No,
Was I Debbie Downering
you
it?
were totally. This is what we do. We talk.
We do whatever
This is
we
what
do.
bro. You've been on the show a million times. By the way, if you're like, oh, who's this Peter guy? Has he been on the show before? Yeah, he's been on many times. The problem is, I took all the shows down after I lost my job because of the show.
Still the
I
Another
mean,
time. I know.
yeah.
So, but at some point, it'll be on old shows. I still have them all. They'll be on Patreon at some point. You can go ahead and check that out, as well as all of our stuff at rupertestler.com. If you do the iTunes thing, I just decided, yeah, you should. Why don't you go giving us 5 stars? Dang it. We
like
should,
and subscribe.
yeah, like and subscribe. Actually, I've been putting shows since we've come back. I've been putting shows on YouTube with the video is just like the pictures, like our logo and shit like that. We have 33 subscribers.
Wow, really?
I know.
I'm honored.
On YouTube.
This is going to be a platform for me to jump off into more fame.
So,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely.
Mostly I
I
knew
mean,
you
like
won.
and subscribe, do the 5 stars, do all that shit. I mean, again, maybe I can someday say we're listened to by hundreds of people. Wouldn't that be cool? Or 100 people? I'll start with 100.
If each one of those 100 people donated just $4.20 a month,
Yeah, bro.
Bro.
2420, bro. All right, man. We're going to be back next week. Not this week, next week, but we will have. I don't even know which name to use for her right now, but I would say we're going to have a writer we met at the Rochester Erotic Arts Festival who got a hold of us before I could reach out to her, and she wants to come on the show. We're going to talk to her, an erotic writer, and her name right now is going to be Betty Crocker. I'll just go with
Okay.
that. It's not her name, but I can't. Her email was a little bit.
is she going to show you her test kitchen when she comes over?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Okay.
And then sometime this summer, because just working out schedule wise, we are good. Definitely, speaking of talking about the shows that have been taken down, Special K is coming back. I know.
Oh my goodness!
I found the thing to hook her in. She's going to come on because I actually want her to do this. She's going to come on and talking about teaching kids how to read.
Oh, fabulous! We love this.
She has it's her jam, and she has a perspective on that is old school. That's coming back, which is controversial to the new school people, and I'm actually think I'm in her camp on this. And she's going to talk about
she's
it.
my friend. I'm going to be on her camp anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like the average Stuart Badasso show is far more intellectual than the ones I'm on, and I want to know if it's me.
Totally. It's totally.
Damn it.
I don't think it's you.
No. Everything's totally you.
Oh.
In a good way, I mean.
I forgot about that. It is all about me, isn't it?
No, it's all about all of us. Which is why I don't want to work with people on my big idea. I just want to fucking sit here by myself and do it.
If I gotta tell you,
beard and fingernails.
If I had $1 billion, I would do some cool shit with it. I would fund this
Is that
for
the
you.
new Bare Naked Lady song? If I had $1 billion,
well, inflation.
I should totally redo it.
Yeah.
Because $1 million doesn't even seem like that much.
No, it's
anymore.
got to be $1 billion now.
No. All right, we're gonna go, and as usual, we'll play a bit after this. And I haven't ridden shit in a really long time, but. Someday.
One day it'll happen.
It'll happen. All right, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
You still using your dad's tired old scent? You smell like you just returned from the sea. No, brah, that's not a good thing. If you wanna get some, you gotta smell like you got some. Know what I'm saying? That's why I developed my own scent. Get yourself a bottle of Morning Nookie by Stuart Badasso. Morning Nookie, my own concoction of spices, vanilla and tang. It's Morning Nookie by Stuart Badasso. The cologne that will make you say, "Dude, smell my finger."
Available at Family Dollar. Everything for $1. You got $1? Dollarific and Crapmark.